don't think that I would call it a whirlwind in terms of our relationship. Obviously, there have been layers attached to how public it has become after we had a good 5-6 months almost with just privacy, which was amazing. But no, I think we were able to really have so much time just to connect, and we never went longer than 2 weeks without seeing each other, even though we were obviously doing a long-distance relationship, so.
They tried to bury these photos for nearly 10 years, but in January 2026, the truth finally broke free. Meghan Markle and a mysterious man named Marcus Anderson captured together again and again and again. London parties, Paris runways, even intimate family trips with her children. Always right there, unnervingly close.
Yes, we first met, we were introduced actually by a mutual friend who
we should protect her privacy and not reveal too much of that.
And but it was literally, it was through her, and then we met once and then twice back to back, 2 dates in London. Last July,
yes,
beginning of July, and then it was, I think, about 3, maybe 4 weeks later.
Royal insiders are whispering what nobody dared say out loud. This man holds secrets that could destroy everything Meghan built. And when you see what Harry's face reveals in these photos, when you discover who Marcus really is, you'll understand why this scandal changes absolutely everything. The pattern was impossible to ignore once you saw it. London events, Paris Fashion Week, even family outings to Disneyland with her children. In photograph after photograph, Marcus Anderson was right there, not somewhere in the background where you might expect a casual acquaintance to be, not off to the side in group shots, right next to Meghan, again and again. The consistency raised questions that millions of people began asking openly for the first time. Marcus Anderson is not a household name to most people. He works behind the scenes in an industry built on discretion and access. For years, he has held a senior position at Soho House, the private members club network that operates exclusive locations across the globe. His official title is Global Membership Director, but that corporate description barely captures what the role actually involves. Anderson has built a career on being the person who controls access to some of the most exclusive spaces in the world. He decides who gets invited to elite parties. He manages guest lists for events where celebrities, business leaders, and wealthy individuals gather away from public view. He makes introductions that can change careers overnight. This is not the kind of position that attracts public attention. People like Marcus Anderson typically operate in the background, facilitating connections for others, rather than seeking the spotlight themselves. Which makes his repeated appearance in Meghan's life, spanning more than a decade, all the more noteworthy. The question that began circulating as these photographs went viral was straightforward but significant. What is the nature of the relationship between Meghan Markle and Marcus Anderson? And why, after everything that has happened, the royal wedding, the departure from royal duties, the move to California, the building of a new life on a different continent, why is he still so consistently present? The photographs themselves tell a story that cannot be easily dismissed. When you look through images of Meghan at Soho House events over the years, a specific detail emerges. She is never photographed there alone. Not once. Every single image from those venues shows Marcus Anderson beside her. This is not the pattern you would typically see with a casual friendship. Most people attend clubs and social venues without the same person, appearing next to them in literally every photograph taken over multiple years. There is a practical reason for this pattern, which relates to how Soho House operates. The club has strict policies about guests. According to their membership rules, anyone visiting as a guest rather than as a member must remain with the member who brought them. Guests cannot wander the facilities independently. They need to stay with their host throughout the visit. This policy exists to maintain the privacy and exclusivity that members pay substantial fees to access. What this means in practical terms is that Meghan was attending these venues as Marcus Anderson's guest. She was not a member herself during those years. Her access to these spaces and to the people gathered in them came through him. Marcus Anderson's role in the Soho House organization goes back years. He did not start in a position of power. According to reports about his career progression, he began working at Soho House Toronto, waiting tables. Over time, he worked his way up through the organization until he became a close associate of Nick Jones, the billionaire founder of the entire Soho House empire. Jones started the first location in London in 1995 and carefully built it into the global network it is today. The clubs are worth billions now, operating in major cities across multiple continents. Nick Jones has been very clear about his membership philosophy. In interviews over the years, he has stated that Soho House tries to avoid giving memberships to people who would attract paparazzi or bring unwanted press attention. This was not just marketing language. The policy was enforced consistently. Kim Kardashian applied for membership and was rejected. Kobe Bryant was turned away. These are people with enormous fame and substantial wealth, but they were told no specifically because they brought too much media attention. The whole point of Soho House, according to its founder, was to create spaces where influential people could gather without cameras, without public scrutiny, without the circus that follows major celebrities. This makes Meghan's access to these venues particularly interesting. At the time she became a regular presence at Soho House locations, she was working as an actress on Suits, a cable television drama. The show had a dedicated audience, but it was not making Meghan internationally famous. Reports indicate she was earning approximately $50,000 per episode, which is decent money for television work, but not the kind of wealth that typically opens doors at the most exclusive private clubs in the world. She was not a global celebrity. She was not particularly wealthy by the standards of Soho House's typical membership. She was a working actress on a moderately successful show. Yet she gained access to Soho House locations in multiple cities. She attended parties and events at these venues regularly. She networked with the wealthy, connected people who gathered there. The question that nobody has fully answered is how this access was granted. The most logical explanation points to Marcus Anderson. As someone who built guest lists and managed membership decisions, he would have had the authority to bring Meghan into these spaces as his guest. He could provide her with access that she would not have been able to obtain on her own based on her career status or income at that time. The significance of this access cannot be overstated. Soho House locations function as networking hubs for people in entertainment, fashion, business, and society. The connections made in these spaces can fundamentally alter someone's career trajectory. An introduction to the right producer, investor, or influential figure can open opportunities that might otherwise take decades to access, if they become accessible at all. For someone ambitious and strategic, regular access to these environments could be transformative. Meghan's life did transform during the years she spent as a regular at Soho House venues. She went from being a working television actress to becoming engaged to Prince Harry in a remarkably short period of time. The connection between these two facts, her access to elite social circles through Marcus Anderson and her eventual relationship with Harry, is direct. According to multiple reports from royal biographers and sources close to the situation, Marcus Anderson played a central role in arranging the initial meeting between Meghan and Harry. The story that has been told publicly describes it as a blind date, which suggests a certain casualness or chance. But the details that have emerged paint a more deliberate picture. Harry reportedly approached Marcus Anderson specifically and asked him to arrange a private meeting with Meghan. This meeting took place at Soho House in London in July 2016. It was carefully organised with only a small number of people present, creating an environment where Harry and Meghan could talk, privately without the pressure of crowds or media attention. Marcus Anderson facilitated this introduction, using his position and his connections to make it happen in a way that ensured discretion. This was not a random encounter. This was an introduction orchestrated by someone with the power to create exactly the right circumstances for a relationship to develop. And Marcus Anderson had that power because of his position within the Soho House network and because of his existing relationship with Meghan. The question that naturally arises is why he chose to facilitate this introduction. What motivated him to connect Meghan with Prince Harry? What did he gain from making this particular match happen? These questions remain unanswered, but the fact of his involvement is documented and confirmed by multiple sources. Understanding what Soho House actually represents is essential to grasping the significance of Marcus Anderson's role in Meghan's life. Most people have heard of Soho House, but relatively few understand how the organisation actually operates or what membership truly means. This is not simply an upscale bar or restaurant that anyone with money can walk into. It functions as one of the most carefully curated private networks in the world, with locations spanning London, New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, Mumbai, Barcelona, and numerous other major cities. The membership process itself is deliberately exclusive. You cannot simply pay a fee and gain entry. every application requires sponsorship from an existing member. Beyond that, applications go through a membership committee that evaluates whether each candidate fits the culture and values of the organization. The process is designed to be selective, to maintain a specific type of environment. For many people seeking to break into certain industries or social circles, particularly in entertainment and media, gaining access to Soho House can represent a significant milestone. It signals that you have been vouched for by someone with standing in these communities. Marcus Anderson's position within this system gave him considerable influence. As global membership director, he did not simply process applications. He helped shape the guest lists for events. He decided which parties happened at which locations. He made recommendations about who should or should not be granted access to the network. For someone working their way up in the entertainment industry, having Marcus Anderson as an advocate could open doors that might otherwise remain closed indefinitely. His career trajectory within Soho House is worth examining. Anderson started at the bottom, working as a server at the Toronto location. This was not a glamorous beginning. He was taking orders and bringing drinks to tables like any other restaurant employee. But he clearly demonstrated something that caught the attention of senior leadership because he steadily moved up through the organization. Eventually, he became closely associated with Nick Jones himself, the founder and creative force behind the entire Soho House empire. Nick Jones is a billionaire who built his fortune by understanding exactly what wealthy, influential people wanted from their social spaces. When he opened the first Soho House in London in 1995, he was creating something different from traditional private clubs. The old model of private clubs in London was staid and formal, focused on tradition and established wealth. Jones wanted to create spaces that felt more creative, more dynamic, more connected to contemporary culture. He succeeded remarkably well. Soho House became the place where people in film, fashion, media, and music wanted to gather. But Jones was also protective of the brand he was building. He understood that exclusivity only works if it is genuinely maintained. This is why he was willing to turn away applicants who were significantly more famous and wealthy than many existing members. The rejections of Kim Kardashian and Kobe Bryant were not arbitrary decisions. They reflected a deliberate policy. Jones believed that certain kinds of celebrity would fundamentally change the atmosphere of the clubs. Paparazzi follow major celebrities. Media attention follows them. Other members might feel uncomfortable or might start treating the clubs as places to spot famous people rather than spaces to relax and network privately. This makes Meghan's access during her Suits years genuinely unusual. At that point in her career, she was not famous enough to be rejected on the grounds of bringing too much attention, but she also was not wealthy or established enough to be an obvious candidate for membership based on conventional criteria. She was earning a solid income from television work, but she was not operating at the financial level of typical Soho House members. Many members are successful entrepreneurs, established actors with major film careers, fashion designers with international brands, or people who have inherited substantial wealth. Meghan did not fit these categories when she first began appearing regularly at Soho House venues. The most straightforward explanation is that Marcus Anderson provided her with access by bringing her as his guest. Given his position within the organization, he would have had considerable latitude to do this. He could bring guests to events. He could ensure that someone he was vouching for would be welcomed at various locations. And based on the photographic evidence, this is exactly what happened. Every image of Meghan at Soho House shows her alongside Marcus Anderson because she was there as his guest, and the club's policies required guests to remain with their hosting member. What did this access provide? It was not simply about attending parties, though that was certainly part of it. The real value was in the connections being made in these spaces. Soho House events bring together people from overlapping but distinct spheres. A fashion designer might meet a film producer, an entrepreneur might connect with an actress, a journalist might have a conversation with a tech investor. These are the kinds of interactions that can lead to collaborations, job opportunities, or strategic partnerships. For Meghan, who was clearly ambitious and working to build her profile beyond her television role, this access would have been invaluable. She began appearing at events in London, at fashion weeks in various cities, at parties that gathered influential people from multiple industries. Her network was expanding rapidly during this period, and much of that expansion can be traced directly to her connection with Marcus Anderson and the access he provided through Soho House. There are also other venues in the Soho House portfolio that became relevant to Meghan's story. Nick Jones owns Babington House, a country estate in Somerset that operates as an exclusive hotel and private club. According to reports from royal biographers, Harry and Meghan had some of their early dates at Babington House. These were private meetings, away from London, away from potential media attention. The logistics of arranging these meetings, of ensuring privacy and discretion, reportedly involved Marcus Anderson. He was facilitating not just the initial introduction, but the ongoing development of the relationship. This level of involvement goes beyond what most people would consider typical friendship behavior. Friends certainly help each other. They make introductions, they offer advice. But the systematic facilitation of access to exclusive venues, the coordination of private meetings, the ongoing presence across multiple contexts, this represents something more structured. It suggests a relationship where one person is actively working to advance another person's opportunities and connections. The question of what Meghan offered in return is one that has not been publicly answered. Marcus Anderson was investing significant time, energy, and social capital into elevating Meghan's profile and expanding her network. In professional contexts, such investments are typically made with some expectation of return. This does not necessarily mean anything inappropriate or transactional in a negative sense. It could simply mean that Anderson believed Meghan would be successful and that her success would reflect well on him. It could mean he enjoyed her company and wanted to help a friend. It could mean he saw potential in her that others had missed. But the intensity and duration of his involvement suggests something beyond casual friendship. Across the years from 2014 through 2016, and then continuing after she met Harry, Marcus Anderson remained consistently present. He attended the royal wedding at Windsor Castle in 2018. He was photographed at Meghan's baby shower in New York in 2019, an event that reportedly cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and brought together Meghan's closest friends and most influential connections. The fact that Marcus Anderson was included in this intimate gathering alongside people Meghan had known for years indicates the depth of his integration into her inner circle. His continued presence after the royal wedding is particularly noteworthy. Once Meghan married Harry, she had achieved a level of fame and status that most people can barely imagine. She was now the Duchess of Sussex, a member of the British royal family, one of the most recognised women in the world. At this point, the access and connections that Marcus Anderson had provided were no longer necessary in the same way. Meghan had transcended the need for someone to open doors for her, yet Marcus Anderson did not fade into the background. He remained a constant presence in her life. This continuity raises questions about the nature of their relationship. Friendships certainly can endure across major life changes, but the specific pattern here, the ongoing physical proximity, the inclusion in family events, the carefully managed public visibility, suggests something more complex than a straightforward friendship. Some observers have noted that Marcus Anderson's ongoing presence could reflect the fact that he possesses knowledge about Meghan's past, about the networking she did in those crucial years before meeting Harry, about the strategic decisions and connections that led to the royal relationship. If this is the case, then keeping Marcus Anderson close makes strategic sense. People who know your history, who were present for the less polished or less publicly acceptable moments, can either be trusted allies or potential sources of information that could complicate carefully constructed public narratives. By maintaining a close relationship with Marcus Anderson, Meghan ensures that someone with direct knowledge of her pre-royal years remains within her circle rather than outside it, where he might speak more freely to others. The Soho House network also connected Meghan to other people who became significant in her life: fashion designers, stylists, other actresses, and influential figures in media and entertainment. Some of these connections were already established before Marcus Anderson entered the picture, but many were facilitated or strengthened through the access he provided. The Toronto Soho House in particular became an important social hub for Meghan during her Suits years, when she was living in the city for filming. What emerges from examining this period is a picture of someone who was very strategic about building relationships and expanding her network. Meghan clearly understood the value of connections and worked deliberately to cultivate them. There is nothing inherently wrong with this approach. Many successful people are strategic networkers who understand that opportunities often come through relationships rather than through isolated individual effort. but the specific role that Marcus Anderson played in facilitating this network building and the ongoing nature of his involvement years later creates a pattern that people find difficult to categorize as simply friendship. The photographs themselves provide the most concrete evidence of the relationship between Meghan and Marcus Anderson. These are not images that require interpretation or speculation. They show specific moments across multiple years in different cities and contexts, creating a documented timeline that raises legitimate questions about the nature and depth of their connection. One of the earliest widely circulated photographs dates from December 2014. The image shows Meghan and Marcus at a Soho House event. She is holding a large glass of red wine, and her arm is wrapped around his back in what appears to be a familiar, comfortable embrace. Marcus is leaning in close to her, their faces nearly touching. The body language in this photograph suggests a level of intimacy that goes beyond professional acquaintance or casual friendship. People naturally position themselves differently depending on their relationship with someone, and the positioning captured here indicates comfort and closeness. Moving forward to June 2016, another photograph emerged from a gala event in Toronto. This image is particularly significant because of its timing. Marcus is wearing a blue tuxedo and Meghan is in a fitted black dress. His arm is positioned around her waist and both are smiling for the camera. The notable detail about this photograph is that it was taken just 1 month before Meghan supposedly met Prince Harry for the first time on their famous blind date. The closeness and apparent intimacy captured in this image, occurring so shortly before she began dating Harry, has prompted questions about the timeline and the nature of her relationship with Marcus during this period. The Invictus Games in Toronto in September 2017 provided another revealing photograph. By this point, Meghan and Harry were publicly dating, and Harry was attending the Games, which he had, founded to support wounded veterans. In the photograph from this event, Meghan is sitting directly next to Marcus Anderson in the arena seating. Their knees are visibly touching or very close together. Harry is also present, sitting nearby, but the photograph captures something that many observers found uncomfortable. Meghan appears to be looking at Marcus with a broad, genuine smile, while Harry's expression seems distant and somewhat uncomfortable. He's looking away, his face showing what appears to be unease or distraction. This particular image has generated significant discussion because it captures all three key figures in the same frame. The contrast between Meghan's engaged, happy expression toward Marcus and Harry's detached demeanor in the same moment is striking. Body language experts who have analyzed this photograph have noted that Harry's posture and facial expression suggest discomfort with the situation. Whether this discomfort relates to Marcus's presence specifically or to some other aspect of the moment is impossible to determine from a single photograph, but the visual certainly raises questions. Fast forward to October 2025, and a photograph from Paris Fashion Week sparked renewed interest across social media platforms. This image shows Meghan and Marcus walking through the streets of Paris, and they are holding hands. This is not the linked arms that friends might use for support while walking, or the casual touching that might occur in a crowded space. They are holding hands in the way that couples typically do, fingers intertwined, walking together through the city. The photograph went viral almost immediately, with thousands of comments questioning why Meghan would be holding hands with Marcus if their relationship was purely platonic. The hand-holding photograph is difficult to explain away through conventional friendship frameworks. Most adults do not hold hands with friends of the opposite sex while walking through public spaces, particularly when one of those adults is married. The gesture carries romantic or intimate connotations in most cultural contexts. Some defenders of Meghan have suggested that the hand-holding might be a European custom or simply an expression of close friendship, but these explanations have not satisfied many observers who view the image as evidence of something beyond ordinary friendship. Then there is the Disneyland photograph from June 2025. Meghan posted images on her Instagram account showing a family trip to the theme park for her son's 4th birthday. The photographs show Meghan, Harry, and their children enjoying the park, but they also show Marcus Anderson present at this family celebration. What makes this particularly unusual is that Meghan used a heart emoji to digitally cover Marcus's face in the publicly posted version of the photograph. The original image without the emoji covering has since circulated, allowing people to confirm his identity, but the fact that Meghan chose to obscure his face raises obvious questions. If Marcus Anderson is simply a close family friend, someone who has been part of Meghan's life for years and whom she trusts around her children, why hide his identity? Why not simply acknowledge his presence openly? The decision to cover his face suggests awareness that his presence at an intimate family birthday celebration might generate questions or criticism. But the act of concealment itself has generated far more scrutiny than simply including him openly would have done. It suggests that Meghan recognizes something potentially problematic about Marcus's level of involvement in her family life, but rather than addressing it directly, she attempts to hide it while still including him in the event. The pattern across all these photographs is consistency. Marcus Anderson appears at professional events, at sporting events, at family celebrations, at fashion weeks in international cities. He's present across different contexts and different phases of Meghan's life. Before Harry, during the early dating period, after the wedding, after leaving royal life, after moving to California. The continuity is remarkable. Most friendships, even very close ones, do not maintain this level of constant physical proximity across such dramatic life changes and geographical relocations. There are also photographs from Meghan's baby shower in New York in February 2019. This was a lavish event attended by her closest friends, reportedly costing around $500,000. The guest list included celebrities and longtime friends, people who had known Meghan for years. Marcus Anderson was among the guests, again indicating his status within her innermost circle. A baby shower is typically an event for family and very close friends, particularly close female friends. The presence of Marcus Anderson at such an intimate celebration further demonstrates how deeply integrated he is into Meghan's personal life. What also emerges from examining these photographs over time is the way Harry appears in images where Marcus is present. The Invictus Games photograph is not the only example where Harry seems uncomfortable or distant. In several images where all three appear together, Harry's body language and facial expression suggest unease. He often appears to be looking away, his smile seeming forced when present at all. In contrast, Meghan consistently appears relaxed, happy, and comfortable when photographed with Marcus. This contrast in body language has led observers to speculate about Harry's feelings regarding Marcus's ongoing presence in their lives. Some sources who claim to be close to the situation have suggested that Harry has questioned why Marcus is always around, particularly at family events and moments that might typically be reserved for immediate family only. But challenging Marcus's presence would put Harry in a difficult position. Marcus introduced them. He facilitated their early relationship. He has been part of Meghan's life longer than Harry has been. Objecting to Marcus would mean questioning the foundation of their entire relationship. The question of what Soho House membership rules reveal about Meghan's access is also relevant to understanding these photographs. As mentioned earlier, Soho House has strict policies requiring guests to remain with the member who brought them throughout their visit. This explains why Meghan never appears alone in photographs taken at Soho House venues. She was attending as Marcus's guest, which means she literally could not be there without him under the club's policies. This dependency on Marcus for access to these exclusive spaces during the crucial years when she was building her network and eventually meeting Harry creates a dynamic worth examining. Marcus Anderson held the keys, quite literally, to spaces where Meghan could network with wealthy, influential, and well-connected people. Every introduction she received in those spaces, every connection she made, every opportunity that arose from conversations in Soho House venues, all of it flowed through Marcus. That creates a relationship of dependency, where one person controls access to opportunities that the other person values highly. Such relationships can be mutually beneficial, but they also create power dynamics that are more complex than simple friendship. The photographs from Paris Fashion Week deserve additional examination because they represent relatively recent evidence of the ongoing relationship. This was not a photograph from years ago when Meghan was still building her career and might have relied more heavily on Marcus's connections. This was taken in 2025, years after she had achieved global fame, years after marrying into the British royal family, years after she had built her own platform and network. Yet there they were, walking through Paris holding hands, maintaining the same physical closeness that photographs from 2014 and 2016 show. What explains this continuity? If Marcus Anderson's primary value to Meghan was providing access and connections in her pre-royal life, that value would have diminished significantly once she became the Duchess of Sussex. She no longer needed someone to open doors for her. Doors opened automatically based on her own status. Yet Marcus remained, not just as an occasional presence, but as someone described by sources as the second most important man in her life, second only to Harry himself. That description, if accurate, places Marcus above Meghan's own family members in terms of significance to her. It suggests a relationship that goes beyond what most people would consider typical friendship, regardless of how long the friendship has existed. The accumulation of photographic evidence creates a narrative that is difficult to dismiss. Individual photographs might be explained away or contextualized differently, but the pattern across dozens of images spanning more than a decade creates a picture of a relationship that remains consistently close, consistently intimate in terms of physical proximity, and consistently present across every phase of Meghan's life, from working actress to royal duchess to California-based media figure. The question that remains most difficult to answer is why Marcus Anderson continues to play such a prominent role in Meghan's life so many years after the circumstances that originally brought them together have fundamentally changed. When they first met, the dynamic made logical sense. Marcus held a position of influence within an exclusive network that could benefit someone trying to build their profile in entertainment and social circles. Meghan was a working actress who could benefit enormously from the access and connections he could provide. That was a relationship with clear mutual value, even if the specific terms were never publicly articulated. But circumstances have changed dramatically since those early years. Meghan is no longer a cable television actress seeking opportunities and connections. She married into one of the most famous families in the world. She became a duchess, achieved global recognition, and built a platform that gives her access to virtually anyone she might want to meet. The doors that Marcus Anderson once opened for her through Soho House connections are no longer necessary. She can open those doors herself now, and often they open for her without her even needing to knock. Yet Marcus Anderson has not faded into the background as many people in similar positions might have done. He attended the royal wedding in 2018, a deeply significant moment that was watched by millions around the world. He was present at the New York baby shower in 2019, an intimate celebration with Meghan's closest friends. He appeared at Paris Fashion Week in 2025, walking hand in hand with her through the streets. He was included in the Disneyland family trip in 2025, celebrating her son's birthday alongside Harry and the children. This level of continued involvement across such different contexts and life stages is unusual by any standard. One explanation that has been suggested by various commentators and observers is that Marcus Anderson possesses knowledge about Meghan's past that makes maintaining a close relationship strategically important. He was there during the years before Harry entered the picture. He witnessed the networking, the parties, the connections being made in exclusive venues. He facilitated many of those introductions himself. He knows the details of how Meghan went from being a working actress to being someone who could plausibly be introduced to a British prince. That knowledge could be valuable or potentially problematic, depending on how it might be characterized or shared. People who possess detailed knowledge of someone's past, particularly the strategic decisions and relationships that led to significant success, occupy a unique position. They can be trusted confidants, who understand your journey and support your current life. They can also be potential sources of information that might complicate carefully constructed public narratives. By keeping Marcus Anderson close, by maintaining him within her inner circle, Meghan ensures that someone who knows the full story remains an ally, rather than becoming a distant acquaintance who might speak more freely to others or to media outlets interested in her pre-royal years. This is not to suggest anything particularly scandalous or inappropriate necessarily occurred during those years. It is simply to acknowledge that the path from cable television actress to British royal duchess required strategic relationship building, extensive networking, and access to circles that are not typically available to people at Meghan's career level at that time. Marcus Anderson facilitated much of that access. He knows the details in a way that very few other people do. That knowledge creates a bond that might explain why the relationship has continued with such intensity even after the original circumstances have changed. There is also the question of what role Marcus Anderson plays in Meghan's current life beyond his historical significance. Sources have described him as acting like a fixer, someone who solves problems and manages situations behind the scenes. If he continues to perform that function, it would explain his ongoing presence. People who are effective at managing complicated situations, maintaining privacy, and handling delicate matters discreetly are valuable in the lives of public figures. Meghan's life, even after leaving official royal duties, remains complicated and highly scrutinized. Having someone trusted who can handle certain situations without drawing additional attention could be genuinely useful. But this still does not fully explain the physical intimacy shown in photographs, particularly the hand-holding in Paris or the consistent physical proximity across so many different contexts. Professional fixers and problem solvers typically maintain more formal relationships with their clients. The relationship shown in these photographs appears more personal than professional, more intimate than what business relationships typically involve, even very close and long-standing business relationships. Nick Jones, the founder of Soho House, has remained notably silent about Meghan's years within his club network. He attended the royal wedding, indicating some level of friendship or at least cordial relations. But he has never given interviews discussing what he witnessed during the years when Meghan was a regular presence at his venues. He has never confirmed or elaborated on the role Marcus Anderson played in facilitating her access or in arranging the meeting with Harry. This silence is understandable from a business perspective. Soho House built its reputation on discretion and privacy. Members pay substantial fees, specifically because they trust that what happens within those walls remains private. If Jones were to discuss specific details about Meghan's networking or the introductions that were facilitated, it would undermine that foundational promise of discretion. But the silence also means that key questions remain unanswered. The full story of how a working television actress gained such extensive access to elite circles, how she networked her way into positions where meeting someone like Prince Harry became possible, and what role Marcus Anderson played throughout that process remains incomplete. The photographs provide visual evidence of a close and enduring relationship. The timeline shows Marcus's presence at crucial moments, but the motivations, the agreements, if any, existed, and the full nature of what bound these two people together so closely for so long remains largely speculation based on observable patterns rather than confirmed facts. What can be stated without speculation is that Marcus Anderson has been a constant presence in Meghan Markle's life for more than a decade. He was there when she was a working actress. He was there when she met Harry. He was there at the royal wedding. He was there after she left royal life. He remains present now in California as she builds her media and lifestyle ventures. That continuity across such dramatic life changes is the central fact that any explanation of their relationship must account for. Whether that continuity reflects deep friendship, strategic alliance, shared knowledge that creates mutual interest in maintaining closeness, or some combination of these factors remains a question that only those directly involved can definitively answer.